All right, let's dive into a question that's probably on the mind of anyone in crypto. What is actually going on with the future of XRP? We're going to break down what the experts are predicting, from the super optimistic to the, well, not so optimistic, to give you a much clearer picture of what the years ahead could look like for this digital asset. So, yeah, that's the big one, isn't it? What is the future of XRP? Are we looking at a massive breakout just around the corner, or are there some serious storm clouds gathering? Honestly, that is the billion-dollar question we're going to try and unpack today. Now, if you came here looking for a simple you should buy or you should sell, I have to tell you, you're out of luck. The truth is, the experts are all over the map on this one. You've got some predicting this meteoric rise, while others are seeing a much, much more modest future. We're going to dig into why there's so much disagreement and what that really means for you. Okay, first up, let's look at the near future, the 2026 forecasts. And this is where you can really start to see two very, very different stories beginning to emerge for XRP. So on the really bullish side of things, you've got analysis from Changeling. They're predicting a potential high of nearly $6 by 2026. I mean, that's a massive jump from where it is today, and it represents a super optimistic view of what could happen. But then on the flip side, you have a forecast from Binance, which is calling for a price just over $2 for that same year. That is a huge difference of opinion, right? It really just throws a spotlight on the uncertainty that's wrapped around XRP's future. And here's a quick look at how those different forecasts stack up side by side. For 2026, you can see that split pretty clearly. A few are kind of clustered around that $2.50 mark, and then you've got that one major outlier way up on the high end. And as you can see, when we look further out to 2030, that range of opinions only gets wider. So what gives? Why the huge gap in these forecasts? Well, it really all comes down to this big battle between two opposing forces, the things that could cause explosive growth and the risks that could seriously hold it back. Think of it like a tug of war. On one side, you've got all these bullish catalysts, these positive factors that could just pull XRP's price to the moon. And on the other side, you've got the risks, the headwinds, that could stall its progress or even pull it back down. So let's look at the bullish case first. The big one everyone's talking about is a potential spot XRP ETF. What that means in plain English is a fund that trades on a regular stock market. This would make it so much easier for big institutions to invest without the hassle of holding crypto directly. Then you've got actual upgrades to the XRP ledger itself, like an automated market maker, which adds more financial tools right on the network. And of course, there's the ongoing push for more bank partnerships. But for every bull, there's a bear. The biggest risk, the elephant in the room, is regulation. It's a huge wild card for the entire crypto world. Then you've got some pretty stiff competition from other projects trying to solve the same problems. Plus, there's always the risk of a global economic downturn that could hit all assets. And let's be real, XRP has a history of some pretty wild price swings. So what's the bottom line here? When you boil it all down, it really comes down to one single word: adoption. The more people, the more banks, the more institutions that actually use XRP for what it was built for, well, the higher its value is likely to go. The huge, huge question is just, will that adoption happen on a mass scale? Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Let's look even further down the road to 2030 and beyond. This is where things start to get really, really interesting and, frankly, really speculative. For 2030, that potential price range just gets even wider. We're talking a conservative floor around $2.80 all the way up to a bullish high of over $7. You can just see how that gap between the optimists and the pessimists grows the further into the future we look. And if we look way out to 2040 and 2050, the numbers get pretty wild. We're talking projections of $20, $50, maybe even over $100. But, and this is a really important but, these aren't just random guesses. They are based on a gigantic if. They rely on the idea that XRP becomes deeply, fundamentally integrated into the global financial system, and that is a very, very high bar to clear. So after all that, what are you supposed to take away from this? The key thing to remember is that these forecasts, they are not a crystal ball. Think of them more like a map, a tool to help you think about all the different possibilities for XRP's future. The best way to look at this is as a scenario framework. It's not about trying to predict one exact number. It's about understanding the different paths that XRP could take depending on which of those catalysts and risks we talked about actually end up happening. At the end of the day, XRP's future isn't set in stone.
It's going to be shaped by three massive, pretty unpredictable forces: how governments decide to regulate it, whether big institutions actually start using it, and just the general health of the overall crypto market.
So that really leaves us with the core question you have to weigh for yourself. Is XRP a revolutionary new payment system about to change the world? Or is it another high-risk, super volatile crypto asset? The only thing we know for sure is that whichever path it ends up taking, it is absolutely going to be a fascinating ride.